Now this is buffer time. Respect.
What is buffer time? Is what buffer time?
Welcome back, Buffer Timers, as we close out the year 2025. We've got one more in this series of We All Pick an Episode to talk about, and today is Shereese's turn. But before we get into it, we'll go around clockwise and introduce ourselves. I'm Dustin.
I'm Scott from Opinions No One Cares About.
My name is Vanessa, and I host a YouTube channel called I Love About Star Trek.
Yippee-ki-yay, I'm Mr. Falcon.
Who has a YouTube channel called Windgrace Project. Hi, I'm Shereese. I'm the Sci-Fi Savage.
Well, hello, Shereese. It's great to have you and everybody else here. So before we get into your episode, I guess there's just a little bit of news that Strange New Worlds, we finally have casting for Bones and Sulu. Did you guys want to talk about that at all before we get into Starship Mine?
Well, so I guess it's a new guy and an old veteran. So Bones is going to be played by Thomas Jane. You may know him from a bunch of things. He was in The Punisher. He was in The Mist. He was in part of The Expanse. The interesting part to me, though, is he's like mid-50s right now. So interesting age choice. I don't know if this implies they're planning to do further stuff after Strange New Worlds, like the year one or not. Who knows? And then Sulu's going to be Kai Murakami, who has done absolutely nothing besides stage work and some video game voices. So kind of excited to see that.
Yeah, I mean, the Scotty that we got doesn't have an extensive sheet before it, and he's crushed it, in my opinion. So let's get some fresh blood in there. That's great.
Do you think, is this like mandatory? Did we have to hit all the cast members from TOS before Strange New Worlds could end? Was that the thinking?
I think so.
I think that's the
That makes
goal,
sense.
yeah.
Except for maybe Chekhov. If
Chekhov
we don't
wouldn't
see
make
Chekhov,
sense.
Yeah.
Unless he's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
reporting for duty as a lower decker or something.
Did they get the transporter engineer, Kyle?
He was in it. He
Oh,
was
he
in
was?
season
in
one.
season 1, and then he was mentioned
was-
once or twice in season 2,
Okay.
and then like we
He's
don't
like
know.
a
And then
vanishing
Are we ever getting those bartenders back? Anyway,
I know, from that
that's a
one
great
point.
question.
bartenders.
We better.
all right, Shereese, what are we doing?
Well, today, I'm so glad you asked. We are talking about one of my all-time favorite TNG episodes, Starship Mine. I am so excited. One of my favorite things about just buffer time in general is our chance to kind of have these really deep dives and deep philosophical conversations about Star Trek, because that's one of the best things about Trek. That probably won't be today. Today we won't need to go too deep. Today it's just going to be fun, silly nonsense, and I am here for it. So I have a ton of questions that I want to jump right in. If we get through all of them, then we can just, hang out and do our of tens. But I kind of like to be prepared. So I've got quite a few questions. So let's get started. We're going to kind of go through the episode. So hello, everybody who's joining live. Hello to everyone who's on the replay. In the beginning of this episode, everyone is bombarding Picard with questions. Like every 2 steps, someone's like, Captain this, Captain that. So my question is, how would you handle this situation if you were the captain? That's for anyone.
Like, guys, I delegated this stuff to you for a reason. Pardon me.
I would have been annoyed long before LaForge was the second one to try to excuse himself from the celebration.
He came so close. That was
I would have
great.
had everyone draw straws or something. Like, listen, 3 of you are getting out of it. Everyone else, you're going early.
Grab your scants.
Ooh, true.
I think I would have done like a site-to-site transport directly to my quarters.
It is
But
one of
maybe
my
I'm not-
favorite.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I do think it's one of my favorite intros in TNG though. Like it just there's something about him just wandering around the ship and like everybody is bombarding him with a question here and there and then again and again and the beats just keep on coming and it's kind of great.
I think I would want a reason why they want out. Like not just granting permission because part of a duty as a crew member of the Enterprise's diplomatic stuff and interpersonal stuff with other Starfleet members is kind of part and parcel. So it's like, this is kind of a work function. So what is it that is preventing you from attending? And assess based on that, because it was just dibs. That's as deeply as he considered it. Like maybe Geordi had, an illness in the family or something, and like he's just, Picard's like, well, Worf got there first. Too bad.
I laughed
He
out
had to go
loud.
summon Captain Planet.
Wait, what? He had to go see Captain Planet? Is that what you just said?
He had to go summon Captain Planet.
Oh, that's true. Geordi and Guinan as well.
Sure.
Well, to be fair, a lot of so everybody from the ship was evacuating for this deadly baryon sweep, right? And this is the first time we've seen something like this. We have seen shore leave, where it's like, hey guys, maybe leave the ship if you want to or not, whatever. But this is the first time where it's like, no, you all have to go. Like, you have to go. So it does kind of make sense that in this episode, there's more logistics with people leaving the ship than normal. They're not just like grabbing a phaser or grabbing a bikini and heading out. They've kind of got to like figure things out. But I agree with Dustin. Like, I think it's a really fun intro. I love just the kind of slice of life. I like how just irritated Picard is, but trying to be professional. I don't know. Something about that just, it resonates with me as a
No,
teacher.
I agree with you, Shereese, that Riker needs to bring his bikini.
Makes me think he's not wearing it underneath his uniform at all times.
Like it is kind of jumping ahead, but when they did mention the distraction he was meant to give for a few seconds, my mind did not go to, oh, just talk to him. Like the bikini could have come in handy. That's all I'm saying.
Give the same talk he did to Guinan, where the stars are his eyes and all that. And the galaxy's the night.
And Orton would have been like, you know what? We don't really need to do this. On second thought, you guys can go. Yeah, I've got some questions on Orton and unnamed sidekick as well. Okay, moving on. Picard and Data are in the turbo lift, and Data is practicing small talk. And Picard says, this picture's hilarious. And Picard says to Data that his small talk is maybe a little too non-relevant. My question for you is that a thing? Is it possible for small talk to be too irrelevant, or is that the definition of small talk?
I mean, he was talking about the weather, and that is generally what small talk seems to boil down to. I don't know, for me at least. I don't talk to a lot of people about sports. I absolutely hate talking about politics. So yeah, it does end up being about the weather for me. So I mean, I can vibe with it.
Jesus Christ, the weather out there. We're having in the Northeast. 3 of us on this screen got some form of shit going on outside.
It's raining cats and dogs all day.
Sorry, I
made
thought
me-
we were still doing a lobster tail.
Yeah, you just made me so happy that I missed that conversation. I was going to say that. I'm so glad I missed the lobster tail. I'm bummed I missed Galaxy Quest. I am not bummed I missed lobster tail.
Did miss
It sounds like an adventure of a movie.
Yeah.
I just thought, like, his critique, he doesn't like small talk generally, so for him to assess what the spectrum of small talk that's acceptable is just his opinion about this topic is irrelevant, because small talk is things like the weather. The things that he talks about later, I would argue, are not small talk at all. It's more like info dumping with an audience. And I don't really mind that, and don't consider it small talk, because small talk is just like, there's silence and I can't stand it. Yeah.
Are you afraid of silence, Mrs. Peacock?
Yeah. It's like, it's just somebody who's just insistently filling the silence with their voice and adding absolutely nothing. Whereas, like, that's when it gets grating. When it's just like, hey, we're in an elevator and we're just having a small chat about weather, like, it may be small talk, but it's not like that grating that he's describing exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if he would have given his advice if Data hadn't asked for it. Like, how am I doing? Huh? I wrote a new program just for small talk. Is it working? And it's kind of like, yeah, it is. Weather on a starship. Man, how about the heat on deck 19? But he says that later on. He says something like, you know, like the ambient temperature is just a few degrees above whatever, you know, and like the skin and all this other stuff, which was really funny. I don't know. I laughed out loud at many points in this ridiculous episode that I love. Okay. Dustin had this really great question at the end of the intro before the credits roll. Picard goes onto the bridge and there's no one else there. And he walks around like it's the end of a Lifetime movie, right? He's just like, oh, Chair, I'm going to miss you, Chair. Oh, panels. We've been through a lot together. And Dustin was like, why is he acting like he's never going to see the ship again? Aren't these people supposed to be gone for like 2 hours? So yeah, that's my question. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, like
Those
is
are
the
very
baryon
cool
sweep
panels.
dangerous to the ship or what?
Maybe if those chairs are real leather, I suppose they might have to get new upholstery. I don't know.
If the ship was still sentient, I guess, but I don't think so. I mean, everything Jordy was saying was like, it's good. Like, just go ahead.
Is anybody familiar with the concept of liminal spaces?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, to me, one of those phenomena where it's like you see the thing that you spent a bunch of beloved time in suddenly empty, and you just have this weird feeling of nostalgia. Even though it's just a baryon sweep, he is just this into his ship. You know, the ship is his wife. So that's how I see it. He's having sentimental thoughts about his ship. It's just a weirdly timed one.
The original example of a liminal space, the back rooms.
Okay.
I don't get it.
It's a space that, like, it has no real entrance or exit. It feels nostalgic, but also like worn and boxing.
Yeah, you're seeing it in a way you're not used to. Like a mall is always supposed to be full of people, but if you see a mall, it's like 20 years deserted. It's like that's not how it's meant to be seen.
Okay, got it. That's fair. I can picture that because there's literally so many malls in my area that are exactly that thing, and they look like ghost towns, and it feels like I'm in a zombie movie. Oh right, Nadia is Jean-Luc's wife. Next to the ship, and the ship,
and/or the Stargazer.
The Stargazer. That was just a mistress.
So he's a poly. He's got a polycule of ships.
Delete the wife.
What's the saucer separation mean then?
Saucer swapping. You ever heard that old joke?
Hot swapping the saucer? Okay.
Like a nebula and a galaxy class get together and they swap saucers. And there was a joke that went around for a long time where like Kywin like reported it to the Federation authorities because it was like obscene. Anyway,
that is amazing. Slow clap. That is amazing.
Now I'll have to come back. Okay, here's my next question. This is kind of blending a couple of scenes, but if you notice the food at the reception that Geordi's actually eating, on his plate he's got tiny little marshmallows, also things that maybe M&Ms or maybe chocolate-covered coffee beans, and then later on he has something that looks like chili peppers on his plate. There's one of them there. It's either chili pepper or a tomato, but it looks like chili peppers. So my question for you is, would you eat anything in this reception? And if so, do you think this reception would be better or worse than eating with those really obnoxious Cloacans from Lower Decks?
They were way worse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For me, the thing that was the big turnoff wasn't actually what they were eating, but what they were eating out of. Those wide-stemmed glasses. I hated them, and I have zero opinions about cups and plates, but I fucking hate those things. It looked like they were drinking out of test tubes or Erlenmeyer flasks or something, like out of scientific equipment, not in a good way. Anyway,
That was another one of my questions. Those champagne flutes were like a solid liter of liquid. And one of my questions was, is that too much alcohol to drink for a single serving at a work function? But before you ask that question, any other thoughts on the Cloacans versus this reception?
I would, I guess, like to see them presented with this display of food or food substitutes or whatever it's supposed to be.
watch them performatively faint in front of everybody.
The Cloakins were the worst in terms of like eating together, breaking bread, and constantly butting up against their, palate or whatever, and having to satisfy that. Like, I'd rather be taken hostage every day for the rest of my life than spend one evening with a Cloakin. I mean, it's definitionally an asshole.
Would that go for like Gordon Ramsay too?
Being taken hostage by Gordon Ramsay?
No,
That
he's
sounds
only-
like a
Eating
new show on
hostages?
Fox this
Yes.
fall.
Only if they stick my face between two pieces of bread and call me an idiot sandwich. I want that. So bad.
You're
Well,
too dry.
Right? Like 3 inches from your face. Hello, COVID, back up. Yeah, I feel like the Cloakins' food would be better, but their company would be worse. Versus these terrorists, where their company actually wasn't too bad until they pulled out guns. But the food was way worse. So I don't know. It's kind of a coin toss. Like, if you have to be trapped at this event for several hours, they both seem pretty bad. Yeah, I guess I'd have to pick marshmallows though, because those Cloakins, I'd probably end up strangling one of them and having them for
Okay.
dinner.
I mean, if you're going to be stuck in a closet, it better be with Vanna White.
And like with the Cloakins, it was like there was not just pressure around eating, but making the food too. With this, all I have to do is show up, smile, eat a marshmallow, go back on the Enterprise and replicate actual food.
All you had to do was eat the marshmallows and not fiddle with their heating unit, and everything would have been fine.
Marshmallow.
Start a couple
universe.
marshmallows.
Marshmallows,
Oops,
yes.
grab my saddle.
Row your boat.
All right, thoughts on the solid liter of liquor. What do you think? Too much or too little for a work event?
Never enough.
Lime.
Probably where Geordi got his dating tips for his later escapades.
It's where he
Really?
learned to make the Coco No-No.
Mm-hmm.
At this work function or any work function, because it really depends on the job.
That's a fair question. I was thinking at any work function, but let's say this work function at this particular type of event.
Have to get an ABV on that. Considering way too much here. I would probably just stick with one and call it a night.
You
And
just nurse your
hopefully-
1 liter.
Yeah, and hopefully it's like, a spritzer or something and not like a Long Island iced tea that I have to finish. And it's like a cultural thing where you have to drink the whole thing.
It's a 2-drink minimum.
oh shit.
Oh.
And the entire event happens in like 3 hours. So so you're like
I know.
like Riker's over there just like so
Yeah.
to the cups thing, there was a scene. It's not even a question. I just thought it was really dumb. There was a scene at the end before they turn Geordi's visor into an EMP where Troy gets water, or Beverly gets water. One of them gets water, and the cup has no bottom.
Yeah, I saw that. It
There
was
was no
like
bottom, and I was like,
this some kind of future cup. Like it balances on
it's that
own.
cup. It's that you must hold it between your fingers at all times. And I just wrote in my notes, that's dumb. Like,
Yeah,
I didn't even have a question. It was just like, how do you have a cup with no bottom?
Yeah.
Who does that? That's all. Not a question. Okay. So next question. At one part, Data is practicing his small talk face and his hand gestures, which again is one of those moments where it's just like I laugh out loud watching him be like, and he's like nailing it too. So the first part of this question is, have you ever done this? Have you ever practiced your small talk face and hand gestures? The second part of this question comes from Dustin, and it's how awesome is Brent Spinering in this episode?
I like it better. I like the Brent Spinering better than A Fistful of Datas, but it's not quite as good as Masks. That is full on 11 out of 10 Brent Spinering. This is like a 9.
I completely agree. I think Masks was like so masterful. Fistful of Datas is one of my favorite episodes, but he doesn't have to play a lot of different characters. It's just like one guy. It's just like one guy that he plays really. It's the same accent for all the Western guys. But this, man, this is just like a delight to see him emote. I don't know. Thoughts?
I think the opposite, actually. I'm a bigger fan of Fistful of Datas than Masks personally. And I think he does comedy better than drama when he's doing multiple characters. So Fistful of Datas is my kind of jam, and I really enjoy his spinering and everything. As far as like rehearsing, it's not a conscious decision, but like it's like a modeling thing. And the person that I model the most unconsciously is my mother, but then I also watch a lot of comedy, so then like I get the cadence down, and my small talk comes off as like a routine of some kind when it's not intentional. So it's like not like this, but it's just getting like downloaded in the back of my head, and I enjoy the info dumping with the finger guns. You know, that's very me. That just feels very true to me personally.
I just wanted to clarify the question on screen. It's not that I like Masks. It's that Brent Spiner turned up to 11 is awesome. The plot of Masks is absolute garbage.
I like Masks. I enjoy it. I think
I
it's
enjoy watching Brent Spiner. I'm there for Brent Spiner.
Yeah.
The plot, though, forget the plot.
The plot doesn't exist. It's a non-present entity. It's referred to but never acted on. And everybody acts really weird and is retconned to be stupid. So I hate it. But I do enjoy Brent Spiner's acting in it. But just don't think that was the vehicle for it, because it's like trying to pick a charred steak from like a barbecue that went out of control or something. Oh, look, Data.
Oh, hello.
Is Data holding Spot in that
Yeah,
tournament?
Data and Spot. Is that the one that rehearsed
Ode to
the Spot's poem?
It better be.
Yes, it is. I don't
Okay.
have the batteries in this year.
Yeah,
but
you
it
don't.
is.
I'm not making a request. I was just curious. Okay.
Yes, we have 6 minutes to listen to that. We can
I
all
love
agree
Vanessa's
this was better than.
clarification. I was not making a request. Just-
No, I just like we're talking about Data, and I figured I ought to, use the. I have the camera set up for shits and giggles.
I will say what part of this one that I really like is when Data first starts doing the whole small talk thing. He's talking to Riker and Crusher, and Riker immediately picks up on what he's doing and just has this huge smile on his face because he realizes what Data's doing, and I just love that bit. It's just really, really good little bit.
I wonder if Riker and Beverly think that Data is making fun of Hutch. Because that's kind of like, they're looking kind of like, what are you doing? I wonder if they think like, oh, haha, or if they realize that he's not making fun of Hutch. He's trying to be Hutch. I wonder,
I also don't understand what the crew's problem is with Hutchinson. Like, why do they hate him? They fucking hate him. Like, they're, when Picard says, oh, he's good at small talk, it's not a compliment. Yeah.
It's kind of like he's too good at it. Like he doesn't know when to quit. And I'm not entirely sure he knows, like when he has a captive audience, that they are literally thinking of themselves as captive because he just doesn't stop.
And then they actually become captive. There's so many layers to that. I don't think that I wouldn't characterize it that they hate him. I think he's just hard to get along with. And it's because he's just kind of spewing facts nonstop, but he's not actually trying to connect. And he's certainly not trying to hear anything they have to say or their point of view. And it's just very like a draining battery. And it's just or it's maybe like if you've ever talked to a toddler, like a 3 or 4 year old who wants to tell you a story about anything. It's kind of like that, where they're like, and there were bubbles. And then I walked and you're just like, and at some point you're like, ooh, I'm all, or maybe it's just me. I don't have kids, but you kind of just like get drained at some point of like all your juice. I think that's what it was. And he was very much like the definition of social butterfly, right? So he's like, blah, 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 blah with Riker. And then 2 seconds later, he's like, excuse me. And he's like, on to the next person. He's like, excuse me, on to the next person. It's just kind of like.
But that means he's not good at small talk. That
I
means
think
he's bad at it.
He was kind of wanting to collect the best person in the room, sort of. Because
I think he's
every
having a
time someone came in, he's like,
conversation.
Because, like, this isn't the first time Picard has told Data to fuck off in the most annoying, deprecating way. He's not going to just say, I don't want to talk right now. He's going to make a character judgment, and then Data goes on a spiral and models himself after the most annoying person in the room because Picard wants to get rid of both of them. Like, it's so mean-spirited.
I didn't read it like that at all. Wow, I didn't see it like that at all.
He did do that. He's done that before. He weaponized Data against Luxana Troy when he didn't want to hang out with her. He's like, Data, spew your Data-ness. Get me out of this.
That was true. I will agree with that one. That was true. But I didn't see it like that at all for this. I felt like Data really wanted to get good at small talk, and Picard was like, that's Hutch. That's your dude. Like, if you want to learn anything, learn from this guy. And everybody was trying to either pass Hutch off or like escape from Hutch, like escape the conversation. And when the two of them started talking, they just kind of like were, I don't want to say dead to the world, but like everything else kind of disappeared when the two of them were in conversation. So I feel like it was actually the best of both worlds for both of them because they both seemed to really be enjoying themselves.
But like, if someone's good at small talk, then you would enjoy talking to them. But Picard seems to say like small talk's not his thing.
I would say if you're good at conversation, you would enjoy them, not small.
Picard's kind of antisocial a bit anyways. He's more, unless they're talking about like an 800-year-old extinct culture or something.
That's exactly why I think like asking Picard for advice is mistake number one about socializing.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. To the practicing point, I totally did practice, not necessarily all the stuff that Data did, but I definitely did learn questions about conversation. I learned how to be better at conversations and better at small talk and all those things from this guy I met in college. And I literally just like copied everything he did and said. And I was like, wow, this works. Because I had none of those skills and I saw him doing it so effortlessly. And I was like, what if I did that too? And I have like never looked back. That's when I learned that social skills are literally a skill that you could just learn. So I felt very kindred with Data in this whole pursuit. Speaking of Picard's total antisocial nature, Hutch mentions about the horseback riding and says that it's cold and muddy. There's not a soul around for kilometers. And Picard's like, that sounds perfect. And then he starts going on and on about his saddle and how great it is. It's a very personal thing. It has to be broken in, used, cared for. Most serious riders do have their own saddles, and he runs into a wall while trying to find the escape to get out of this event. So my question for you is, what would be your special item that you could not leave behind on the Enterprise? What's your saddle? What would be your saddle?
Like an actual special item or an excuse special item?
Either or. Because I think for Picard is both. Your Christmas tree? Is that what you're pointing at, Dustin?
I was pointing at Scott. Scott is
the sonic screwdriver.
Oh, I thought you were actually saying Scott.
I thought you were saying Scott also.
Yeah.
I would stash Scott away for emergencies.
Great.
That's a good answer. Sonic screwdriver.
Break in case of Hutch.
Anyone else? Anything? You don't have to have an answer.
Like who cares bear? Is it who cares bee? Said cell phone. I feel like some sort of equivalent of that, something that has media on it, like music and or like ebooks or something I could escape with that way.
I guess it would be like whatever book I'm currently reading. And sometimes I'll jump from one to another a lot. And right now I'm reading Naked Lunch again. So I'd be like, I need to get that, please.
You never know when you're going to need a self-sealing stem bolt. That's a really great point.
Or yamuk sauce.
Like, I like to journal a lot.
What is a yamuk anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not that good. So would you also take a sketchbook, Vanessa?
Yeah.
Like a paper sketchbook or like a digital device?
Paper sketchbook.
Well, you can't say digital because if you say something digital or a book or something, Hutch could be like, "Oh, we can just download it to our advanced computers right here." Like, no, I need the physical one in my quarters, man.
It's very personal. It has to be broken in, used, cared for.
It's like when how like how used is it? It's like the emotion that Picard is directed to express is fascinating when he hears, "Ooh, horsies, horseback riding. I get to use my saddle." Like you could see like the something wake up in him that you don't often see when he was just so angry and irritated just 2 seconds before, and then he hears horsies and he just like lights up. It is his relationship with this hobby is I wish there was more about it.
The horsey's going to bite you now.
I've been bitten by a horse. I've been bitten by a
Oh
horse.
dear.
I was standing with my back to it, and its head went over the fence and bit me on the shoulder.
That's terrifying. Did it hurt? Did it bite you hard, or was it just like a little nip?
No,
I don't
it
know.
was just like a little nip. I was wearing a Burger King Kids Club glow in the dark T-shirt,
Oh.
and I got a stain, and it ruined it.
Did you have a crown too?
Was the stain in
Tell
the
me you
shape
had a
of a
crown.
horse's mouth?
Yes, it was like a grass stain like this. It was so
Oh, you
stupid.
should get that tattooed on you. The horse bite.
Oh my gosh. Vanessa, that's terrifying. That's terrifying. There was one episode, I don't remember which one it was, back in season 1, where Picard's stunt double was riding horses in the holodeck. And I like that this is a callback to that one random scene that we never see again or hear again. I thought that was really fun. I don't know if that was on purpose
We
or
saw
even.
him ride a horse in Generations.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if this was on purpose in this episode, if they remembered that they did that before.
And this outfit, snatched to the gods. Those boots, the
skinny
little
jeans?
blouse. Yeah. Yep. He
Mm-hmm.
is. He's got his duds on. He
The
had he
velvet
was
jacket.
ready.
Well, at least they allowed him his shoes, unlike John McClane.
Oh.
Which
I
is
hope he
funny
didn't-
because he needs it less. There's no broken glass for Picard, so go figure. Okay, so next thing you know, this shady crew shows up to do maintenance before the Barian sweep, and Picard Vulcan neck pinches Tuvok and manages to almost escape. He gets to the he gets to the transporter room, but the power shuts down just as he's about to beam himself out. So this question also comes from Dustin, which I really like. And it is, did Picard get the ability to do a Vulcan nerve pinch from his mind meld with Sarek? Or is this something every Starfleet captain knows?
I had always thought that this was out of place. Like, you never see Picard using the neck pinch before or after. And, like, humans don't really get it. So the only thing I could conclude on this particular watch through was, hey, did he get it from Sarek?
I'm fine with that answer because that actually adds some depth to the proceedings. It's not just a kooky throwaway thing.
I enjoy that very much. And thinking back on the overall tone of this episode, I'm reminded of TOS a bit. And I wonder if that scene, in addition to the Sarek thing, is like kind of a throwback to the fight scenes in that show. Because you have a lot of episodes like this. But yeah, the mind meld with Sarek would certainly imbue him with that knowledge. And once you have it, you don't need the mind meld to remember it. So I love that.
Scott, were you trying to say something earlier? I saw your lips moving, but I didn't hear anything.
I said maybe you learned it from Data after unification.
That is interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I part of what delights me about this scene is the fact that it's Tuvok. That's my favorite part. Who played a Vulcan in whatever the Star Trek movie was that he was in before joining Voyager as a Vulcan as well. So that just brings me joy. Okay. Oh, next question was about that transporter room scene. When Picard goes in, he like sets everything up and he like does the little like thing where you move your fingers and you set the beam or whatever, and he runs onto the platform, and then the power shuts down just as he gets there. So it seems like apparently you can beam yourself out in the transporter room. As long as you have a little bit of a delay, you can just set it for like a 30-second delay or something like that. So my question is, what is O'Brien's job on the ship? What is his function? Why do we have him here? Why did we need him?
To gatekeep the use of the transporter. I mean, somebody could
he's like
murder
security?
somebody by beaming them into space, or unauthorized transport. Yeah, I think it's just like a security check, basically.
Didn't somebody? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I seem to recall. Didn't somebody say, or did he say it himself? Like he was there as the friendly face to like greet people when they came back to the ship or something. So they knew it wasn't just an automated thing. There was a guy behind it.
And I guess that they're there for those hard transports, because like how often do you see something going wrong and you need the transporter operator to activate the second beam, which accidentally creates a duplicate clone of yourself.
You need that
The
often.
thing is, it's not just the transporter engineer that isn't really necessary. It's the transporter room that is not necessary. You can beam anyone into any part of the ship. You don't actually need the transporter room. The second beam thing is a compelling argument for it, though. But like the reason Roddenberry gave was like the pageantry of making an entrance was really the point of a transporter room. So a transporter engineer is just the person that's going to greet the people that are going to be there generally. Like, yes, you have, examples of like, emergencies, but not so frequently that you would actually need to employ someone to do that full time. There's that comic of, Miles O'Brien, the transporter engineer, and he's largely just alone with the panel, not doing
Playing
anything.
solitaire on it for sure. Sure. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Scott, what did you say earlier? Again, you were talking, but I couldn't hear you. You don't remember?
I was joking. It's just that the console is very badly designed and it might fall over if someone isn't there to hold it up.
Or in the case of Lower Decks, it might just like short out and start electrocuting people if you spill your drink on it. Yeah, I thought I was just like, wow, we really don't need O'Brien, because he does say that in Deep Space Nine. He's like talking to Keiko and he was like, I didn't do anything on that ship. That ship was too like perfect or whatever. I love DS9 because it's a piece of crap and I get to fix it. And I was kind of like, yeah, tracks. You didn't do anything on that ship. You were just kind of like, hey guys, what's going on? And on DS9, you're like doing stuff. So anyways, then Picard is stranded, Rutro, and he goes back to Tuvok, drags him into sickbay, and then wakes him up to threaten him, and then hyposprays him back to sleep. My question for you is, what would you do in this scenario? Because now he's trapped on the ship with people of questionable intent, somebody who not so slightly threatened him with a little torch wielder or whatever. So what are you going to do? What would you do in his situation at this point? Say that again, Scott?
So this plot all seems very familiar.
Yeah, Scott, you are like echoing bad. I've been like manually muting you. If you can just mute yourself. Thank you. I'm sorry, dude.
I mean, obviously, my first go-to can't work because holodecks are not functional at this point. But sometimes you just need to go get a Tommy gun and turn the safeties off and just go to town on these folks.
Have their actions warranted Tommy gun level resourcefulness?
I don't know. They warranted crossbow, so why not a Tommy gun?
I think the first thing I would do after getting free of captivity, or a free moment to myself, finding out that there's ne'er-do-wells and riffraff aboard, is contact my crew and tell them to turn off the Barian scan. Just a thought,
I would leave it on. I would leave it on. I'd just be like, beam me out. At the very end of the episode, Picard's like, shut off the beam, shut off the beam, shut off the beam, or whatever. And then they shut it off just in time. But we saw Kelsey get beamed out like 2 seconds ago. So I was like, wait, you could have contacted them this whole time? No, the first thing is like, keep the sleep going, get me out of here. Like,
I might
he was
have,
all out. I don't know.
I might have done the thing they conveniently forget about 90% of the time. Go to the shuttle bay because they have independent power sources and their own transporters.
Or even at the very least their own communication.
Yeah.
Yeah, shut down
Because
the
like
barrier.
I could see like maybe you couldn't get the shuttle out of the bay without main power, but yeah, at least you could use some of the onboard systems.
I had assumed he couldn't talk to them because of the baryon sweep. You know, it's like the classic ionic storm.
That's
But at the
fair.
end, when he's like, "Shut it off," and Data's like, "Okay," I was like,
Yeah,
"Wait."
and they're like talking ship to onboard ship the whole time. So yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like onboard ship, you know, even in an ion storm, they can still talk to each other on the ship. They just can't talk outside of the ship, you know? So I was like, okay, that tracks for me if there's some interference with getting signals off the ship or whatever. But then at the end, when he's clearly talking to the people like on the planet or whatever, I was just like, that you didn't have to do any of this. You don't have to do any of this. You could have been like, intruders aboard, bring security, stop the bear. Like you could have done all of this. But
he wanted to do a Die Hard. He's been bored. Clearly, he's been talking to Hutchison. He's, ready to go on a rampage. And this is his opportunity to
like
shoot a
he
bit.
hasn't been this badass since Captain's Holiday 3 seasons before. He just he needed to go on his own little quest.
So after this scene, just checking the time, I'm going to speed up the questions or skip some. After this scene, though, we go back to the reception where Geordi has discovered the heating element and Orton and Hinchman have pulled out giant weapons and they're like, everybody freeze. It's a stick up. It's not really a reception anymore or whatever. Yeah, exactly. The finger guns become real guns. And they shoot both Geordi and Hutch. And Hutch immediately dies, which is so sad. Rest in peace, Hutch. And then, but Geordi's like, he's like not well, but he's totally alive. How?
Plot armor.
What?
Yeah,
That's
the
Yeah.
plot
fights.
armor.
Oh, plot armor. I thought you said Claude Hammer.
The clawed hammer that was right here got shot. It quite dissipated a little bit.
Did anybody
Yeah.
give a shit that Hutchison was shot? Or were they just so
Nope.
thoroughly socially drained by this person that they were like, thank fucking God. Thank
At least
God.
they gave him a seat. At least they
Data
gave
had
him.
absorbed
Finally
most
dead.
of his power.
We never have to hear another ornithologist anecdote again.
I thought it was really sad and totally unnecessary. They could have just stunned everyone. They could have just stunned people. I was like, Hutch didn't have to die. He didn't have to die. I guess it was to show us that they're serious, but he didn't have to die for us to know that they were serious. They're freaking terrorists still in Trilithium. I already believe they're dangerous.
If they didn't, though, there would be no escalation in stakes and no establishment of a similar danger on the ground. So, like, they had to sort of kick it up a notch. Did they kill somebody that I thought was not an issue for no reason? Sure, but I think there was a plot reason for it.
Just another red shirt. Rest in peace. Yeah, they put a blanket over him, so they showed some kind of care after he died. The next question comes from Dustin, which I think is a really funny one I wouldn't have thought of either. And it's, after this point, is Steve Stevenson of the Cerritos the best choice to replace Hutchinson as the commander of the Arcaria base? I feel like he does such a great job being the captain's assistant that, like, to put him somewhere else feels almost like a travesty, where he's the boss and he doesn't have anybody to like follow around and keep track of their schedule and stuff. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts.
But if he's the commander of a on planet base, he's not going to burn himself on the warp core twice a day. It's for his own protection, really. But I feel like I didn't get it until this watch through. I was like, man, Hutchison, other than like, I think he's a little more suave than Steve Stevens. I feel like this is the archetype that they use to base Steve Stevens on, because almost every character on the Cerritos is based on some other character in Star Trek somewhere along the line. And I feel like he's Hutch.
I have an out of left field choice. the scientist who gave that lecture they went to, who kept talking and talking in one long unbroken sentence, moving
Yes.
from topic to topic.
In one long unbroken sentence. Yeah.
Just put him in charge.
Yep. That'd be great. I feel like for Steve Stevenson, as far as him being like the perfect assistant, it kind of reminds me of Saru being the perfect first officer. And when he's not, you're just like, buddy, play to your strengths. I kind of feel like that.
Starbase 80.
There was in Imzadi, there is a Starbase 86. The name is deliberate, to 86 something to get rid of it, and it's like meant to be the pit of despair, like the ass end of the Federation where no one goes. So I get the sense that like starbases aren't really regarded as like esteemed assignments because there's no adventure attached to it really. You're just
Right.
there.
I mean, like, think about Cisco. I mean, granted, Cisco had his own issues at the beginning of DS9, but like he was posted to a really boring job at the ass end of the galaxy with little support and until it became important. So like you got to think that that's most of the postings in the Federation.
Yeah, that episode of Lower Decks with that guy, was he an admiral or something who was trying to stay on the pleasure planet forever because he didn't want to go back to work to his dead-end job?
Yeah.
Was he at Starbase or no? He
I
was on
think
Starship.
so. Oh yeah, you're right.
I know
think
who
he
you're
just,
talking about. I don't remember.
I think he just like,
It was the
He-
Apocalypse Now riff
He was just sick
or
of dealing with space
was it
wolves.
like
with the sunscreen.
he was on a starship where they were like doing something with cows. I don't remember, but it was like
Yeah, space cows. He was like milking
Mhm.
space cows or something like that. Okay, so maybe his wasn't a Starbase, but
It
maybe
was
he got
the Vibe Tubes episode.
yeah, maybe he got promoted to a Starbase. I forgot how his storyline ended. It was something that he was happy about though.
Oh no, he went to take care of the mini Voyager.
Oh yes, that's right. That's right. He got a new assignment instead of milking space cows. So along with this whole fun and games part of the episode, which I was just totally delighted by, where Picard's just kind of like outsmarting the bad guys at every turn, but then getting caught by Kuros at every turn. One of the questions that Dustin had that I thought was really good also was why did they spend so much time not killing Picard? I think in the beginning when they first capture him and he says he's Mott the Barber, I could see them being like, all right, like, I don't see why they wouldn't stun him or restrain him, but I could see them not necessarily killing him that moment. But afterwards, when he proves that he is a menace and is picking them off one by one and they capture him and Kelsey's like, great, you got him alive, bring him to me. I was like, no, like leave him there, shoot him. He can be discovered with all
He's
the other
already
bodies
killed
on the ship.
2 people in their party and like foiled their plans at every turn. Why? And they like let him live all the way to the end.
Especially when they're turning on each other and they have no
Yes,
plans about
exactly.
killing themselves.
And it's not like they're holding him for ransom or anything. They're not making any demands like, hey, we want this trilithium off of the ship or whatever. It's so funny.
This
I'm
scene
just
made me laugh.
he's just a simple barber.
Just a simple barber.
So that idea though, that like they're chasing him all around the ship, he's proved to be a menace to them and they're just not killing him. He does say, I'm Jean-Luc Picard, you can hold me for ransom, like you can hold me hostage. And Kelsey's like, I've heard of Jean-Luc Picard, but we don't want any hostages. We've already got our own plans. So again, it's like, it would have made sense if they were going to kill him in that moment because seems like they should just kill him. But then he goes, no, don't kill me. I'm Captain Picard. And they go, all right, fine, we won't because of like, we'll have more bargaining chips or something like that would make more sense than just being like, come with me. Why? Where are we taking him?
It just feels like they didn't really plan this heist very well. Like they don't adapt to any change. They're just so single-minded in their goal that any changes, like did they really search the ship to make sure that there was nobody on it before they started going and engineering and picking this trilithium? Like it just doesn't seem like they did a very thorough job of figuring out how to adapt.
I can't imagine. I just like with having Picard there, there's no way that one of these, I want to call them terrorists, but like they said, they're not. They're just
Arms
thieves.
dealers. Yeah, they're arms dealers.
But that not one of them had looked ahead to who's the captain of the Enterprise and seen a picture. There's no way.
It's true.
That part too. Like, how do they not recognize any of the crew? Any of them?
Maybe all humans look alike to them.
The part that I thought was funny is I'm always going on and on about how Starfleet security just is terrible and needs a retraining. And this entire episode, I was like, maybe it's all future people, because Orton and co, they were taken over by Riker just being like, can I talk to you for a second? And then just punching him in the face. I was like, well, shoot, if they could have done that, why didn't they just take over the whole thing? Like, it seems like not that difficult. Their security was not great. And then when Sattler has Mott at gunpoint and Kelsey's like, keep an eye on him in the beginning, the entire time that Sattler has him at gunpoint, he's looking behind himself. Like, he's looking at the warp core, he's looking at the ceiling, he's looking at the floor, he's looking at everything except for Mott the barber, who turns on him instantly, right? And I was just like, once again, the security retraining maybe needs to go for everyone in this century. Because like
this lays squarely at the feet of Worf, just like Rascals.
I also,
bad security.
It reminds me very much of TOS's sort of plot convenience, the way that things kind of tumble into itself because the security is so bad. Like in Spock's brain, they put their badges and their guns in the same cell with them and just like put a few, that.
Do they make them promise not to use them?
Yeah, just don't use them. Don't take them away. You know, it's just very silly. The like lack of forethought, and like the security is no big deal because they only have 45 minutes to tell a story. So they have to like come up with ways for them to foil this plan. But it's like, these people, like, are these people terrorists? Because they're not, or, you know, they're merchants, I guess. By the way, finance and commerce are two different things. She's using two words to describe the same thing that are two different things. Commerce is the system by which profit is obtained, and profit is a separate thing. Anyway, it's a nitpick, but like, the security team cohesion with terrorists isn't great. Neither is it great on the ground. It's like they didn't plan for any resistance whatsoever.
I mean, they planned far enough ahead to have weapons at the reception under the table. So they thought that far. And that's it. The caterers have to bring arms, so that's a thing. But it's like two guys and two guns, and they let the people collude. They let all of the prisoners collude with each other right in front of their faces. They let Riker walk up and just punch one in the face. And they would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for their pesky dog. Like, Riker punches the guy in the face, Orton goes down, and then he turns around to fight the other guy single-handedly, and then he gets knocked out. So they only needed one more person other than Riker to be there, like maybe Data, who's superhuman and could have lifted up the guy and thrown him into the other guy. And they would have won this fight. So I don't know. I just felt like they were prepared enough to have guns, but like, he should have never been standing this close.
Also, they were barely whispering. They were like talking like this.
They were talking in their outside voices.
Yeah.
Good thing Riker and Troy don't have a pre-established psychic communication or anything.
Well, I mean, that communication does only go one way, so
she's an empath, which is just picking up on vibes.
She can hear his thoughts.
We saw in the first episode in Encounter at Firepoint, they could both hear each other's thoughts. They had trained him in however that works.
Yeah,
they could have a dialogue.
It's the Anzadi link.
Yeah.
I don't know if it still exists.
They couldn't do it with Geordi, but he's clueless. He wouldn't figure it out. He'd be like, "Oh."
He's Zadi.
Okay.
Leah Brahms, is that you?
Leah, are you here? And are you single now? Please be single now.
Aquiel,
freaking Aquiel.
Is that your dog, Aquiel?
Get that girl off the ship. Okay, so whenever you're touching the engine, you're touching me, Geordi.
It's so awkward. It's so like you're having a conversation with his body pillow now. That's great.
His body pillow looks exactly like you. It is like the worst waking nightmare a person could face. Okay, so there are so many other questions, but I'm going to skip to the end, to the out of tens because we're running short on time.
You
I just
got
wanna
enough
make sure
time.
there's-
You can ask at least one more. We can go for a full hour and then start out of 10.
Okay, so here's one. I don't know. I'm like, okay, pick one. Okay, so Kelsey comes over to Kuros and tells her the whole plan. Classic bad guy move. We're gonna go to 10 forward. We're gonna move the tri. I am outraged. We're gonna move the trilithium. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. We're leaving in 5 minutes. We're gonna be in quarter C. She's telling him everything. She's telling her everything. And then Picard actually has one of these walkie-talkies. And so he gets on the walkie-talkie and he's like, "That's crazy, Kelsey. Don't do that. Trilithium will blow up the whole ship." And then she's just like, "Well, quit messing with us so that way you don't blow up your ship." And then Picard's like, "I'm not going to do that. I'd rather see the ship get blown up than see it in the hands of terrorists." So my question for you is, do you think that all the other Starfleet captains we know and love would have done the same thing?
Janeway, yes.
Kirk, yes. Archer, yes.
Cisco
Janeway might have
absolutely.
actually blown up the ship, though.
Oh, absolutely. If she thought she could like get them by doing it, absolutely.
Cisco would have killed his ass already. Like,
That's true.
both, all of them. Just like found a way for the like redirect the baryon to the engineering and just like
Make the baryon beam and
yeah,
just knock them all out and be like, "Let's go play some baseball."
yeah, yep.
And Kira would have been like, "That's how we do it." Matter of fact, that was an episode of DS9 with the poison in the one container. Do you remember where Jake was? It's like that one room is going to get gassed because that's how Cardassians roll.
Oh, was it the civil defense one?
Yeah.
Retention of
civil
majority
defense.
workers or whatever.
That is one of my. We haven't done that one on here, and one of these days, probably this coming year, we're gonna have to do civil defense. I love it so much.
Scott, do you want to add in? No. Just did you have
No.
any? Did you? No, you don't have to. Just don't want to miss you because
Oh,
I know we're gonna miss
Pike
you.
would not.
I think I was thinking something
Don't
like Kira
wanna
looking at
miss
the
you,
baryon
Scott.
sweeping, being like, "Where was that during the occupation?"
We could have taken DS9 back years ago with this, okay? Yes, that episode. Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking of. I feel like they all would. I feel like they all would rather blow up the ship than have terrorists get away with a weapon from their ship. I don't think they would want terrorists to get away in general, but specifically taking the weapon from their ship makes it personal. So I feel like they would all rather have their ship blown up. And I think they would all do something to, either kill all the terrorists or like Picard did in the end. I feel like Picard was like the how do I want to say this? The most hands off in his approach because he allowed the baryon sweep technically to kill everybody. Like he just like made them unconscious until the baryon sweep just washed over them, right? But I feel
So
like the other
convenient.
captains would have been more hands on.
I loved his little like look. He like pauses in the hallway after that
When
first
he hears
guy
Statler
shot it.
screaming in the Jeffries tube.
Yeah, and he's like, and you could almost hear him go. It's like he
I thought it was a look of regret.
He never emote like that, but you could hear it on the inside.
He's just like, "Baryon's gonna baryon."
Oh man. Okay, that's it. We'll end there. We can go with out of tens, and we'll just go around. We can start with Dustin.
All right. I like this one more than I think it has any right to be. Like it's not one of Trek's greatest episodes, but it is so darn much fun. And like I had already said, especially the intro, I feel like it's one of TNG's best executed intros. It really hits. Overall, I can't give it like a huge ranking. I want to give it like an 8.5, but I feel like that might be too much. I'm thinking like a 7.75.
Okay, so I mean, as we learned from the movie Die Hard, the Die Hard formula works sometimes, and they copied it a lot afterwards. So a lot of the time it doesn't. But in this case, they got it right. When you can almost hear like the old movie trailer guys like, one man in a starship full of enemies fighting for his very survival, and so on. And it hits all these perfect bits where, you know, he's captured and he gets away and sabotages and plays tricks and finally gets revealed and pulls a fast one on the leader right before the end. The bad guys all die along the way. It's just really well, it's really well executed. I mean, this episode didn't really even need a subplot, and yet you have Data and Brent Spiner absolutely killing it, trying to become a master of small talk. Going up against Hutch, and the two of them who just talking each other's ears off, which in Data's case could actually happen. So I'm going to rank it a little higher than you guys. I'm going to give it a 8.5.
So, like, I agree that this was a very fun episode. I'm going to give it about the same score as Dustin. There were some issues for me in terms of like the motive for this heist. Like, I feel like that could have been a much stronger component of this, because that to leave what it was till the very end seemed really stupid. It didn't add anything. And the cohesion of this terrorist group could have been a lot better. That being said, I do think this is a lot of fun. The plot conveniences are kind of whatever. Like, I don't really care. The seams are showing and it's clear, but it's not to the detriment of how fun this episode is. So 7.75. Oh, and bald barber. Like, could we? That was like, you know, Booleans, not to discriminate, but clearly they've cornered the market. So maybe that's what gives him credibility as a barber. Anyway.
Even though he's a pink skin. So I think that, yeah, this is a fun episode. It's a good idea. I wouldn't say it corners the market on any amazing conceptual ideas, or it's not really introducing anything that fresh from a Star Trek perspective. I think it's one of the things where they kind of had the idea that they wanted to tell. They're like, let's do Die Hard on the Enterprise with Captain Picard. And they're like, we'll figure the rest out as we go. That's definitely a fun watch. I don't skip this one ever. It's stayed with me. The Baryon sweep's something that's kind of always been a thing in my head. We were discussing a little before we actually got on here that, yeah, the terrorists or the profiteers or whatever you want to call them, the scallywags, their most memorable traits are, oh, hey, you're that person who's in that other episode of Star Trek as another character. Like, they don't really have their own unique identifying personalities as characters themselves. So I think that in retrospect, that adds something to it. As Scott was saying, I think like the B plot kind of ties into the main story, but it's also doing its own thing. Like, it meshes well, but it's also its own self-contained thing that doesn't really feel tacked on, even though it kind of is. I didn't really realize before, when I looked at the episode before this, I'm like, oh, that's a Worf-centric episode. That's why they wrote him out of this one. He's probably filming that one. So that's why he won the lottery. But yeah, it's just a fun time. The idea, the premise works. I've been trying to get an Orville episode made around the same project for a while, so why not do it again 32 more times? I give it about a 7.52.
Or 47 more times.
6, 7.
Oh gosh, why did I even
You
say
say
that
a
number?
7.5 TOO or 7.52 the numbers?
I'll give it a 7.52. Why not?
Okay, so it's good.
I just wanted to tack on a little factoid that Patrick Stewart was angling toward doing more actiony things. He was kind of tired of being the poet laureate captain and wanted to do more actiony stuff that was manifested mostly in the movies. But I think that it works more successfully on the show because it just they could have written out the fact that he was he decided to take this out on his own a little bit more, but I think it just balances better. Like it's more palatable in a fun episode than is in a serious movie.
He could have gone back to get his dune buggy, but he went to get his saddle instead.
Ugh, his gas guzzling dune buggy. No comment.
It's electric.
So this is one of my all-time favorite episodes. I think it is so much fun. Every time I watch this episode, when I get to the end, I want to rewind and watch it again. It's just like a good time. I wanted to give this a perfect score because I love it so much, but I couldn't because there are other episodes that I think are more Trek that are really, really good. I'm thinking of things like the Pegasus, which I adore, or the Offspring, which I always cry at. This is just from TNG. This is not even all of the shows, but there's other TNG episodes where I'm like, this is like, it's hard hitting. It's got these complex issues. It's got some moral issues or some social issues or some ethical issues that really give it layers. This doesn't really have that. I mean, arms dealing is bad, so I guess that's in there somewhere. But really, it's just like a good time. It's just, it's Die Hard. It's Home Alone. It's just a good time. So I can't give it a perfect score for that reason, because it's not like the best episode ever, but it is always in my top 20 because it's one of the most fun things to watch on the show, I think. So for that reason, I'm going to give it an 8.5 as well. I just think, yeah, like I want to give it higher, but I think I agree with Dustin where he says, I like this episode more than I should. It's like all the things I don't normally pick apart with episodes, this would fall in that category usually, right? Where you're like, oh, it's this, and this has nothing to do with that. And like, there'd be all these things, but I guess the way that they did it, or because Die Hard was so awesome, it works. It works. And I'm here for it. And all the plot holes, I don't care. And the fact that Geordi's eating marshmallows before he gets shot is fine. And the fact that they're drinking a liter of liquor just to not talk to some guy who they find annoying, I'm cool with that. Like the bad guys turning each other, obvi. There's explosions in 10 forward, and we never see Kuros again, but we just assume she was taken out by the Baryon sweep. Fine. All of it I'm fine with. And then at the end when the bad guys blow up, I cheered. So yes, that is my vote.
And with that, we close out another year on Buffer Time. I'm trying to kick this thing up so it can see maybe it doesn't feel like it.
Dustin's tree is drunk.
I was trying to get the topper. As I said, that
we're
we're closing out the end of the year, and we will take a short break here for a few weeks until Academy debuts. We will be back on the 19th. It will be on the 15th on Paramount Plus. I would like to thank all of you guys and the rest of the Buffer Time crew that isn't with us tonight for everything you guys always do. And I'd like to wish all of you and all of you out there a happy New Year's. So, till we see you again with Academy, live long and